So the sedition law is actually a colonial relic that punishes disaffection to the government. It was brought in by the British colonial government to sort of crush the freedom movement, to crush people who were literally, their aim was to promote disaffection to the government. Unfortunately, it's sort of stuck on even after independence, and is now being used to target, people, activists, and anybody really that the ruling party right now does not like.
So what did the Supreme Court have to say in suspending the law?
So the Supreme Court is hearing a batch of petitions which called for a judicial review of sedition. And whilst it was hearing it, the India's central government, the union government, our federal government, was quite opposed to the court hearing the law. But possibly because it sensed that things were going south for it, it pitched a proposal to the court saying that it will actually have a relook at the law. And in response to that, the Supreme Court said that the law would be held in abeyance or would be frozen till the central government carried out such an exercise.
So what happens next? Because this doesn't overturn the law, only Parliament can do that.
So Parliament could overturn the law. The Supreme Court could also overturn the law under India's judicial system, where courts have the power of judicial review. Right now, as you said, neither of the two have actually happened. So we're in a bit of a limbo right now, where the law has been frozen, but hasn't actually been struck down or even actually changed. So right now, the ball is in the court of India's central government, which is the BJP-led Modi government. And it has promised to review the law, but right now there is unfortunately nothing concrete that we have as to what that entails. Because remember, till very recently, till a few weeks back, the government was actually a supporter of the law. So we really have no concrete outcome as to what the law will become, but it's still a very positive development, because the law, as of now, cannot be used by the police, and if it is used, people could go to courts for relief.
So how controversial has the law become over the years, and what are some of the high-profile examples of how the law has reportedly been misused?
So the law has been extremely widely misused by governments right since independence, but has really seen a big rise since, I would say, 2014, when the current ruling party, which is the BJP, the Hindu nationalist BJP, came to power. They're a muscular nationalist party, so for them, sedition actually carries a real meaning, and to prosecute for sedition is something that they've frequently done. Some really egregious examples that just come to mind are, there's a journalist who's now in jail for 1.5 years for covering a rape in a state of Uttar Pradesh. He's in jail for sedition for 1.5 years, no trial till now. There have been college kids put in jail for supposedly supporting Pakistan in cricket. So, supporting the wrong cricket team in India could get you put in jail under sedition, because the law is so widely defined, or rather it's not defined very narrowly, is because so that you can put pretty much anyone in jail. Convictions are very low. Right now, conviction rates are in the single digits in terms of percentages. But, in India, that really doesn't matter, because the process is the punishment. You'll be in prison for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and without trial. And by the time your trial finishes and you're held to be not guilty, you've already sort of suffered a sort of punishment. And that's what sedition allows governments to quickly do to crush dissent. So hopefully this is a positive development.
Yeah, so Shoaib, how significant is it that it has ended up in India's top court at this time with this outcome?
I think it's a very significant move, because for the past few years, we've been seeing questions around how much of a check India's judiciary is on an increasingly muscular central government. So obviously there's still a long way to go, but this is a good sign that the judiciary has stepped up to check what is clearly an outrageous law. I mean, Mr. Mahatma Gandhi made the sedition law a centerpiece of his freedom struggle in 1922. He pleaded guilty to sedition. So for modern India to use that law is not only wrong, In law, it's wrong. In morals, but it's absolutely it denies our own history as a country, as how we won our independence.
And just lastly, what has the reaction been across the country?
I think there's been a reaction mostly of relief because the law was widely held to be misused. There are sections in India, which is why the law has stayed for so long, which do want the law to stay on, because there's a hyper-nationalist section in India who would want the law to stay on. But right now, since that section is most represented by the BJP, and the BJP has taken a line which says the law should be struck down, that section is still now quiet. But let's see what happens eventually with the law, and that's when we'll come to know the proof of the pudding will be in the eating.
We'll be keeping an eye on it. Shoaib Daniel, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.